Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Belgrade Beat.
Hello there, folks. My name is Erik and welcome to my show, actually. This is the first time I've done this, and I really found today to be the moment where I just had to, I'm in my new apartment now, and I just had to come here, set up the camera, find the place where the light was okay, set up the microphone, and click record. So here we are. This is my pilot episode for what I'm going to call the Belgrade Beat. And basically what it is an English language television program to take place in Belgrade, Serbia, where I live, and explore local and international issues and to provide a voice of, let's say, empowerment and a voice of excitement and development for people in Serbia, and whoever else wants to watch around the world. I'm not from Belgrade, Serbia, but I grew up in a place called Toronto, Canada, which is really different than this. A lot of people find it really strange that I've chosen to live in Serbia, but it seems to be sticking, and I seem to be in my element here. All I can say is my family is from this region of Europe. Originally, we are from Bratislava, Slovakia, but ethnically German. And they left after World War II and went to Canada. And I was raised with this sort of mentality from this part of the world, let's say, a little north of here, up the Danube. And when I was growing up in Canada, I never really felt like I fit in. Somehow, I grew up in a sort of rich neighborhood, really rich neighborhood called Rosedale/Moore Park in Toronto. And basically, I always felt like some sort of alien there. And it wasn't until I was 13 when my father took me for the first time to Bratislava, Prague, and Vienna that I sort of felt like, oh, this is where people like me are from. Because that's what my dad wanted to show me, and I very much value that he did that. But anyway, long story short, I became enchanted with the continent of Europe. I met Serbian people in Toronto, made me want to visit Serbia. I visited Serbia, and 2008, already 7 years ago, this week, I moved here for the first time. And my life has been very interesting ever since then, because I find that Belgrade has one of the most vibrant and varied, actually, cultures in Europe, and it's something that is very unique to the world. This sort of Central European, Eastern European meeting the Mediterranean, Middle Eastern culture in such a unified and 21st century way. So basically, I live here in Belgrade, and one of the things that really bothers me about Belgrade is the potential that I see in this place and how so few people take responsibility for making things get better and make things happen. I don't know if you've heard, but there were wars here in the 90s, with Serbia going to war with some of its neighbors, with genocide occurring and all that crap, with Belgrade, this city, being bombed by NATO in 1999. And the economy hasn't really recovered since then. And one of my things that I do here, I work online. I have an IT business which functions with London. And one of the things I do is try to educate people that if you want the country to get better, you have to be the change that you want to see around you. And you have to rise up against the hopelessness. I'll talk tons about this later, but basically I'm here, and the reason I'm here, first of all, is because I want to inspire myself here by this wonderful city and the amazing people that I meet all the time here. And secondarily, I want to make my music here. I want to I've already used Belgrade for years as a source of inspiration for my band, Worldly Savages, which was founded in Belgrade in 2008 as a project. And since then, I've gone all around Europe, over 250 shows all around Europe, and a few in Canada as well. And the project is very much Belgrade-based, because this is the city that inspires me. It was based previously in Toronto and London, but I never really found myself at home in those cities, so I couldn't make my music feel how I wanted it to there. And the vibe of Belgrade has always inspired me. But I'm here to make life better for me and the people around me. With my IT business, I'm hiring people. With the musicians in my band, I'm doing very hard to put them in perspective with, this thing. Make their world bigger, make them imagine that we can travel around playing music as we do. I've already played in 7 countries this year, and in total in my life I've played in, 18 countries or something like that. It's possible. It just requires lots of hard work and a determination, and one thing I want to do here is find people who are hardworking, determined, and persistent, and surround myself with them. So part of what I want to do with this show is find those people in Belgrade and make a network of people who are ignoring all of this poverty mentality that they're raised with in Serbia, and that's all around everywhere, and really making things happen on a local level first and connecting it internationally. Belgrade already has a great reputation amongst backpackers in Europe. You see more of them coming through here every year. It's got the reputation as one of the best party cities, one of the coolest cities of Europe to visit. And I just see so much goddamn potential in this city, in the Serbia, in the food, in the people, in the mentality, in the resilience that's been brought over the thousands of years of war that's plagued or invigorated the society. So I'm calling this show Belgrade Beat. I had this idea about a year and a half ago. I was nurturing it with a journalist friend from Germany who lives here also, and we just didn't find the time to make it happen. And then in September last year, I found a YouTube podcast called London Real, created by Brian Rose, which showed me exactly the sort of thing I want to build. And since then, I've been constantly inspired by Brian and his journey and his guests and the whole thing. And today's the day. I had to hit record and speak into the camera right now for you. So I'm here doing that now, alone in my new apartment, because there's no excuse anymore. And as Dan Pena said at the Ritz Hotel at the event I went to in March, I'd rather put a mediocre plan to do something in action today than the perfect plan next month. So here's what I'm sure looking back will be mediocre compared to what I do. This is the first episode, and my name is Erik Moot, and I'm dedicated to making an English language program for Belgrade that inspires success, creativity, and making people's lives better. Thank you very much. That's it for me, my introduction, and stay tuned to see how this develops. Thanks a lot.